Sasha's back. She's back. I've been waiting to say this. Cut it. Cut my music, Sasha. Cut it. Cut that shit. My assistant, Sasha, is back, man. She took a little bit of a mini vacay. And you probably noticed because we were kind of scrambling to make the show run smooth the past few days. I think we did a damn good job. We just didn't rock out, maybe, you know. But I don't know who comes back from a vacation on a weekend, on a Saturday, but Sasha does. That shows you the commitment, the amplification in Sasha. Round of applause, Amp Unit. Yes. Sasha, we missed you. Salute, honestly, on behalf of the entire unit. And to you guys, by the way, my amplified unit. Smackdown, 11/11/22. We're going to talk all about it, man. As of today, this morning, it's early on a Saturday morning, we are 2 weeks away from Survivor Series. They're still trying to iron out the card. One of the main events literally just got put in place last night. They scrambled out 8 fucking dudes. We think it's going to be 5-on-5 of a 10-man because that's what they advertise. So we think 2 more dudes are going to be added on. Maybe Sami Zayn, maybe Owens. But that's going to be with 1 week left. I mean, this is I don't know, man. I mean, I guess they're just trying to sell the War Games concept, and it doesn't really matter who's in it, you know? They're just throwing them in there with 2 weeks left, 1 week left after all participants have been named next week. But that's what we're doing, man. Believe it or not, War Games Survivor Series is in 2 weeks. I guess they're just going to try to sell everybody on just War Games itself, even if you're not too excited for the matches. It's War Games, man. So we are a couple weeks away, and we're going to talk about this November 11th, 2022 show, a show that you guys know going into it, BC was not high on. I saw the card, and I told you guys, I made a video yesterday. I said, this is nothing different than Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We're just hoping that there's enough backstage segments and promo segments that can save the show. Did it do such? BC will discuss in just a couple of minutes. And I'll do a little cold open where I give you my general thoughts before I go into the full review. So, because I know it's the weekend and maybe you guys don't have a ton of time. So I will give a little bit of a cold open, first. But first things first, now that we welcomed back Sasha back to the office studio, there's no, working from home, Sasha. You gotta come in studio. There's one other shout out that I have to give. It's not just Sasha, my assistant. I got to give a shout out, or my unit, every single one of you motherfuckers that took a time to smash that up and fucking show the love over to the channel, man. I want to show that love right back. So to you guys, salute. But my third shout out, okay, so I got Sasha, I got my amplified unit, and now third is actually going to be one of the most unlikely of people you would think BC would give a shout out to. But it is Corey Graves. That's right. Corey Graves, man, speaking not as the entertainer, not as the commentator of Monday Night Raw or WWE, but speaking as a human being who witnessed one of the biggest booking botches ever. He had a front row seat. He had a seat in front of the front row last Monday night. And he is speaking like an actual human being. He is speaking not like a puppet. He is telling you his true feelings about how he felt watching that unfold Monday night with Austin Theory. And I love this. For anybody that tried to defend Paul Triple H Levesque, for anybody that tried to come up with a bunch of reasons as to why this is happening and or it's best that it's happening, and totally just glazing right over the fact of how it was done and how tragic it was done. Those people are just lying to themselves, trying to come up with excuses so they can protect Paul Levesque. I love what Corey Graves just said, man. This is the latest. I think this is on his podcast, After the Bell. And this is a quote from Corey Graves, somebody who literally witnessed that, who called the action while it was happening. Corey says this, and I quote, "I'm furious with how it all played out. I was furious as it was unfolding before our very eyes. As a real human being and as an on-air character, Seth freaking Rollins and Austin Theory are two of my favorites. I think the world of Austin Theory, and I truly believe what Mr. McMahon was saying 6 months ago, that this guy could be the guy. At least one of them. And I understand things changed and, the path, everything has changed. But I was furious. That speaks volumes, man. Somebody who was literally calling the action, calling the night, calling the show. And Triple H's own talent, furious. Like most of us who were telling the truth that night, furious that such a booking botch could happen. And to see some fans who are just not even thinking clearly, they're just they have so much hope that WWE is going to be so much better with Triple H than Vince McMahon, which, by the way, Vince set the bar so fucking low that all you got to do is change some names back, bring some people back, and you've already done 80 million times better than Vince. Nobody's arguing that fact. That's not true change. Change is changing the formula of the fucking show. Change is giving us storylines with an S that captivate us in larger-than-life superstars, cliffhangers, reasons the need to come back to watch the next week, not just want to. That's the biggest changes you're going to see, and that takes just one fucking day to make sure it's happening. Not 50-50 booking talent. I can go on, and I've already done it several times on this very channel. So many videos. Right? That's the true fucking change. There's so many fans, and I use that term loosely, that just want to protect Triple H because they, the fans, don't want to be wrong. They put all their chips into Paul Levesque. In Papa H we trust, right? And you see all the memes, and every time something good happens now, you see a meme with Triple H's face rolling up, and he just has a little smile, and it goes, Papa HW. But nobody wants to talk about the Papa HLs, which are stacking up as well. And this is one of the biggest booking botches anybody could make. If it was Vince McMahon, we'd be throwing them under every single 18-wheeler imaginable. Any 18-wheeler ever created, we'd be figuratively, maybe literally, dragging this motherfucker underneath it. Paul Levesque? No, we're going to come up with reasons. It had to come off of him. It just wasn't going to work. He wasn't going to win it anyway. It's no harm, no foul. Would I done a little different? Yeah, but let's just move on. What? Move on? The dude got fucking destroyed. Now we can just hope. You want to put your hope in the H. How about you put your hope into a young talent like Austin Theory and hope he can bounce back? Because that's what we're going to do. Right? There's no doubt he was buried. Now we just hope he can get out of that fucking burial. Right? We're not just casting this dude away forever. We're hoping he can come back, be resurrected. And I love what Graves said afterwards with the whole let it play out thing, right? And this is one of those scenarios where now we have no choice. Let it play out. Austin Theory didn't get fired. Austin didn't get beaten and thrown into a dumpster and pushed off the stage. Theory didn't have a limousine explode, going through all the things that did happen in WWE in the past. If Theory doesn't do something massive between now and Survivor Series, yeah, maybe it is time to worry. He's being honest. He knows that he needs pristine booking starting right now. Basically, Graves is saying, and he's going to be calling the action on Monday, Austin Theory better be involved in something massive on Monday. So for all those people that are saying, good, I'm glad this happened, I don't like Theory anyway, I mean, if that's the general consensus backstage, I doubt very much Corey Graves is the only motherfucker who's saying this backstage, guys. Do you think Corey's the only one talking about it like this? I doubt it very much. I'm sure the whole company is befuddled by what happened on Monday night. As real fucking fans who actually are truthful as we are. We're furious, but we're befuddled that can even be approved by Papa H. So if you're like Corey Graves, if you're like BC, if you're fans like us, man, you know Austin Theory needs a huge, massive night on Monday to just try to get out of the burial. Forget getting a rocket strapped to him. Forget trying to get over. You just need to get out of the burial right now. Because I promise you, that was a complete burial on Monday. He's been being slowly but surely buried. Have you seen his win-loss record? Have you seen the losses he's been stacking up? Whether it's Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano, Rollins, a number of fucking times, it doesn't matter. This guy's been losing left and right. It's almost like his mission statement would be to try to capture the Brooklyn Brawlers losing streak record. And then all of a sudden, Monday night, it was just like, we're done slowly but surely, Barry. We're just going to bring in the fucking, we're going to bring in the tractors, and we're just going to fucking do this real quick. Rip off the Band-Aid. You're fucking done, kid. Anyway, we talked a lot about the Theory situation this week, and I just think this is massive, man, because, there's this line in the community, like, I don't see the big deal about it. Okay, I would have done a little differently, but let's be honest, it needed to happen. No, it didn't. Nothing needed to happen that way, man. There's a billion, and I'm not even being exaggeratory, a billion of other creative ways you could have done to make everybody still save face. You could have still changed a character. You could have got the briefcase off of them. There's a billion things you could have done. Monday night, I agree wholeheartedly with Corey Graves, who's being very honest with his audience. I was furious how it all unfolded before our very eyes. Thank you, Corey Graves. I mean that. That's not a character that BC is playing. I'm not just trying to entertain my audience right now. I thank Corey Graves for just being fucking the most bluntly and amplified and honest as possible, and not just sugarcoat it, and not just play on fucking Triple H's fucking strings just so he can keep puppeteering you in the right direction. No, be honest. It's the only way we get the best possible product, which is at the end of the day what we want from WWE and all promotions. Thank you, Corey Graves. I can't believe I'm doing this, but salute. And I've been praising Corey Graves as of late anyway. Somebody took a fucking L recently. I think it was Miz's match. And was it Miz and Gargano? I hate to see Gargano take an L, but the way that Corey Graves did it, man, he like lost a contact or something. He's like, wow, I was looking for my glass. I was looking for something down here. I missed it. What happened? And Miz fucking decked Johnny with like a wrench, the fucking turnbuckle wrench. And Corey Graves like, what? I didn't see it. What are you talking about, Patrick? I didn't see anything. I was looking for my glasses. It was great, man. That's what Bobby the Brain Heenan used to do back in the day, Like he would be so in the heel's pocket that he would come up with anything on commentary to try to sway your decision, I didn't see any cheating. What are you talking about? But then I was getting my contact, but I don't think any cheating happened. Corey Graves has been the closest we've gotten since from Bobby Heenan and Jesse Ventura. You need that broadcaster that is in the heel's pocket, and they're always sticking up for the heels, because then your other commentator, whether it's the Jim Rosses, the Shivani's, the Patricks, the Michael Coles, they're always going to be telling the truth. They're always going to be telling the correct story. But the heel is going to be the comedy in it and kind of having fun with it. Sticking up for the heels. I love that. So I've been actually praising Corey Graves as of late. Man, are the tides are changing. But that was so awesome to hear Corey Graves say that. I guess that was kind of the cold open. I did promise you guys a little bit of a recap before I get into the detailed review of SmackDown. So let me give that to you right now, man. In case you can't stick around for the detailed review, I'll put it to you this way. And I got to correct something, man. Man, hold on. See, there's so much to do because Sasha is awesome. Sasha queued me up on something because she's so right. Well, I was right. And she backed me up on this and found the clip from last night. So Shotzi wins this 6-pack challenge, okay? And the whole thing is a train wreck. Obviously, it's not their fault. I love every single one of these ladies. Maybe not Lacey. I'm not sold on her, but everyone else, Xia Li, criminally booked. I don't even know what they're even doing with Xia. This is literally criminal at this point. But I love these ladies. And Shotzi gets the W. Okay, the match, roughly around 10 minutes, 6 ladies. Everybody's trying to get their moves in. There was a botch at the end. It just fell apart. And it's sad because it's sad that they were even in that position. But then afterward, this is what WWE does, and I can't stand it. They want you to just forget the past, even if it was recent. And the sad part is a lot of fans will absolutely forget the past. And then they come across channels like this, and they're like, you're just being an asshole, man. What you're saying is just negative. I'm like, no, I'm speaking what are you saying, man? You're not being truthful, right? Like, for instance, they had Shotzi after she won backstage. Shotzi literally says, and I want to cue this, is on 7? Well, let me get the fucking mic out then. No, because I have that plugged on the other one, yeah. Hold on. No, I wasn't even plugged on that. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let me Yeah. So Shotzi goes backstage after she wins, and Shayna Baszler confronts her. And Shotzi literally looks at Shayna and says, Ronda's never been in the ring with somebody like me before, or something like that, right? Can I? Okay, tell me when. So I'm gonna play it. This is what Shotzi told Shayna Baszler. All right, listen to this. This is Shotzi telling Shayna Baszler this.
Just thinking about it.
Are you done yet? Ronda has never been in the ring with someone like me.
Okay, there you go. That's Shotzi's words. Ronda has never been in the ring with someone like me. Now, BC instantly went, wait, June 10th, 2022, ring a bell. I literally remembered the fucking date. I don't know fucking why, by the way. Maybe it's just 5 months ago. Maybe I remember shit in wrestling. I don't know. I don't even know how I remember this. It was a forgettable match for the most part, but I remembered it. Maybe something else happened. I don't know, but June 10th, 2022, July, August, September, October, November. It did 5 months, barely. Just 5 months ago, we saw the match. Ronda Rousey snapped the arm back of Shotzi, and Shotzi tapped out ferociously, viciously, fucking begging Ronda to get the fuck off me. Ronda wins. What do you mean? Nobody has ever been in the ring. Ronda has never been in the ring with anyone like me. I love Shotzi. I really do. I want the best for her. Lacey, what do you expect them to do, man? They can't go out there and just be like, yeah, she beat me before. Okay, well then don't say anything like that. Don't say she's never been in the ring with me. Okay, you don't want to you don't want to play to the weaknesses, right? You play to the strengths, right? Okay, that's fine. But in hiding the weaknesses is a good thing. But you don't outright lie about your strengths and weaknesses. You hide them. You don't lie about them. If the weakness in this lack of a feud, because there's only 2 weeks left, and this match just got announced, if that's the weakness, that there's really no big storyline here, then you're trying to make it seem like this is the first time they've ever faced each other. That's fine. That's fine. Most people are going to forget what happened 5 months ago anyway. But don't just outright say she's never been in the ring with anyone like me. She's literally been in the ring with you. Forget like you. She was in the ring with you. Why is a podcaster having to bring this up? Why do I have to go to the evidence? Why do I have to fucking call this out? And then everyone comes across me and I'm like, man, what a dick you are, man. Just let it ride out. What the fuck? There's a reason you're watching BC and not WWE.com or WWE on YouTube or WWE on Peacock. No, you're watching me because A, I'm probably more entertaining than the fucking product, let's be honest. But B, I'm fucking the most truthful. I'm going to call out this shit when you're being lied to. Don't insult our intelligence. That's all I ask. Don't insult our intelligence, man. I just saw this match. On free, in the middle of a SmackDown for free, we saw Shotzi and Ronda. Now we have to pay money for it at Survivor Series? Probably because she drives a fucking tank. Let's put her in there, right? It'll go with the theming. Too funny, bro. Too funny. Anyway, I had to call that. All right, now a quick recap, all right? I promised this 17 minutes ago. I put out a video yesterday. You guys know this. I put out a video, and I was befuddled by what I was reading that they were going to produce for last night's show. Like, this came out early in the morning, and they were promoting a 6-pack challenge to come up with Ronda Rousey's #1 contender, and they were coming up with a tournament to decide Gunther's #1 contender. And this is the same shit that we see with Vince McMahon all the fucking time. All the time for 10 years. And this is the show that Triple H is producing. 6-pack challenge and a tournament to determine #1 contenders for all of his championships. Sound familiar? And then he caps it off. Vince McMahon would always cap it off with a Usos New Day match because he always knew that would make people forget about shit. Right? Just let them go out there, give them some time, and let them produce bangers. That's what Vince would always do. little stupid shit to come up with a number one contender because he never wanted to spend an ounce of energy or time on it. And then secondly, he would always just have a New Day Usos match to shut everybody up. This was what Triple H gave us last night. I mean, if you told me Vince McMahon phoned this show in, or the majority of it, I would have said, makes sense. Makes sense. Because that's what we got last night. Usos New Day, while it was good, you may call it a banger. 24 minutes, by the way. I've seen better Uday. It's a new tag team coming in 2023. The Uday. It's the fucking Usos New Day hybrid. You're going to get Jimmy and Kofi. The Uday. Maybe Xavier and Jey Uso. The Uday. Anyway, you're going to get the Usos in the New Day. Listen, they're going to have to find a way because we've seen it 687 times in the past. You're going to have to come up with a way to somehow top what you've done in the past. The first 687 matches. They didn't do that last night. It was a banger. It was good. I've seen better from the teams. That's what I mean. They can't possibly go any higher than they did. That's the sad truth. I'm huge on the Usos, one of my favorite tag teams in the world. And I have such respect for the New Day. There's no way they can ever top what they've already done in the past multiple times. And here we are still seeing the same shit. They keep going back to it, right? Usos are about to get the record. Wouldn't it be cool if we have just a one-off with the New Day? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, but you're not thinking about what it's actually doing in the grand scheme of it. In the long run, your audience is getting the same fucking match that we've seen 687 times 2 weeks before Survivor Series. I mean, you could use that time vitally to be building up the anticipation. Instead, when the night was over, you didn't get a lot at all, man. At the end of the night, they tried to rush out the Bloodline, Butch and Holland, and Sheamus and Drew, and I think there's going to be two more people, probably Sammy and Kevin. Next week will be added in. I mean, they're trying to rush out 10 dudes so they can throw these people into a Survivor Series match. At least Roman's going to be in Survivor Series, it looks like. At first, it didn't look like he was going to have a match. But, I mean, no, they spent the whole first fucking half an hour with these two teams to tell the story of the longest reigning champions. And you say, well, BC, you always say you want the titles to be prestigious, and this was one of those things, man, where, you know, the Usos finally have a good challenger, and the match is good, and it's long. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. The only time you can think of an Usos title defense or a good match is just the New Day. You can try to lie and say, no, Street Profits too, but you'll forget the event. You'll forget how long the fucking match. You'll forget the match. Because the feud or lack thereof did not deliver. The storyline was non-existent. It basically just felt like they brawled a few times and then boop, a match. And that's what the Profits and the Usos, you know they can deliver bangers. But it's forgettable. And who else? Butch and Holland? You're not going to remember Usos and Butch and Holland. Who else? Alpha Academy and the Usos? No, they keep going back to the Usos and the New Day. And that's forever going to happen. If these two teams are all together in 5 years, you're going to keep getting Uso and New Day matches. And a lot of fans are going to say, I'm cool with it. I can get Usos and New Day every single day, twice on Sunday, and I'm fine, BC. Bangers. And that's good for you. Don't speak for BC. I've 10 matches ago, I started saying this. Literally, that's not even 10 Uday. I keep saying Uday. I'm hybriding the tag team. See what I mean? Because they're always just in the same fucking breath. I have seen them so many times that 10 Usos New Day matches ago, I started saying, if I never see them in the ring again, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I've seen them so many times that I know what they're going to do before they even do it. I've seen the exact same sequences in their matches. That's not good. And they keep going back to it because they don't have a tag team division. And then they keep doing weird shit like reimagining, right? Is that what reimagining? Reimagining the Viking Raiders. Right? How many different variations have we seen of the same Vikings? But they tried another variation last night. This is their best chance. They got a manager that looks the part. I hope she stays a manager, and I'm talking about a returning Logan Paul. Sarah Logan. I need a lot more fucking coffee today, bro. Sarah Logan return. Now, if this is your answer to a damaged women's division, because it's a damn good women's division, nearly every single wrestler in that women's division is phenomenal. Nearly. There's a few exceptions. But it's damaged because of the booking and lack of care from Vince McMahon straight into Triple H so far. And if signing Sarah Logan, not Logan Paul, to the women's division, that would be funny, though. Like Santina Marella. If signing Sarah Logan is your answer, man, Triple H is so fucking lost. If she stays a manager with the Viking Raiders, okay. But anyway, recapping this review, or what it's going to be, that's my thoughts initially on Usos New Day. Yeah, banger. Yeah, they always produce good matches. It's no longer what it once was. You can give them 45 minutes. We've seen the best out of them. They're not going to top it ever, guys. It's just not going to happen. So now I'm just literally seeing the same fucking match, and they're going to come up with different reasons why. Right? Like last night was because Usos are going for the longest title reign, and New Day had the reign, so they're going to have this fun little one-off. Okay. And you say, well, no harm, no foul, BC. Well, if it was, then okay, I give you last night, and then we call it a quits. But we've said 10 times that it's going to be. They literally, 2 times, guys, 2 times, not a stipulation, but the headline over the match, WWE themselves, Michael Cole was saying this will be the last time they face each other. Twice we've already heard that. And here they are last night for this. And there's always going to be a reason to see the same fucking match take up a half an hour of our TV time. There's a reason we didn't see the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation. I don't even think we saw that twice back in the day. One time, and I don't even think that was for fucking, that was an altered TV match. Because back then, there was a tag division that was so stacked, you had to find a way to even get to Hart Foundation versus the Rockers, Demolition versus the Road Warriors. You had to find an avenue because the tag division was so stacked, and there were so many fun feuds. This is just what WWE rests on. We don't have a show. We don't want to get creative. Just give them Usos New Day. They're going to mark the fuck out. They're going to chant, "This is awesome," and they'll go on social after and talk about what a banger it was. And then they'll ask that we can get it some more. Please, can we get New Day and Usos some more? Because they're starving for any type of tag team action. There is no fucking... That's my point. There's no division. There's no real tag teams. There's nothing. It's booked into the shits. It's booked into our porta potty. Porta potty. Porto? Like it's a mushroom? Porta potty. It's booked into a porta potty. And I keep seeing the same fucking teams, and then we all act like the tag division is on fire. But basically, the Vikings are back with a third Viking. And then the rest of the show, what is it, man? You get a World Cup for Gunther's IC title. A World Cup. The fuck you need to see the World Cup? How many tournaments do you need to see to claim a number 1 contender? Are you not tournamented into a brick wall by now? And we're hearing King of the Ring might be back next year. So what do you want? More fucking tournaments to wear yourself out in the tournament format just to get us to another fucking tournament where we got to pay money for? Scripted, predetermined, planned, rehearsed. You treat this like it's just a sport, and it's killing pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is more than just a sport. It's not even a sport. Sports entertainment, I actually like that conjunctured fucking word. That jointed word. I like sports entertainment because it describes what it is. But don't just act like this is a sport with real competition. People are fucking literally getting off, busting a fucking nut on Ali versus Ricochet next week. As if A, we haven't seen it 27 times in the past, because we have. And B, as if wrestling moves and cool sequences is going to put pro wrestling off of life support. Come on, man. Back, what wrestling was founded upon was I say this all the time, storylines, larger than life characters, but that's what got us excited, man. We were looking forward to matches, not just for moves and sequences. We needed to see the beef culminate. We need to see this feud in its culmination. We had to see Boss Man and Mountie. It had to happen. There's no way that we can, it doesn't matter how much the pay-per-view was. SummerSlam. The loser goes to jail. Do you guys remember that? Mountie versus Bossman. You were going in that to see a 5-star classic. You were paying money because this awesome feud between two really badass characters, even the Mountie, and he always gets his mon. And the dude from Cobb County, Georgia. Correctional facilities, man. Big boss, man. And you had to see them fight. You had to see them get in the ring. And what's the story going to be? How is it going to finish, man? Mountie's off to prison, and then they kept going back to the Mountie in jail after he lost. Come on, that's fun. I can give you guys a million examples. I'm just using that. That was fun. Marty Jannetty versus Shawn Michaels. When Shawn Michaels turned on Marty Jannetty. Nope, that's Marty versus Shawn. Could you imagine move for move how awesome that match is on paper? But that's not what was clamoring us to go see this, right? Like we were getting all excited. Oh, I can't wait for them to do the fucking flippities and the fucking how you doings. Oh man, what a match that's gonna be. No, you had to see the feud and the story culminate. You had to see Marty and Shawn brawl, fight, wrestle. You just had to see how this thing was going to turn out. Nowadays, we're just picking anybody. They could be fucking 5'7", a $145 soaking wet versus a 5'8", $162 soaking wet dude. They're just, they practice their whole teenage years in the backyard on their trampoline. Now they're pro wrestlers. They can't cut promos for shit. Try to get Ricochet to cut a good promo. And fucking hell will freeze over. But nobody cares about promos anymore. Nobody cares about selling a feud. Nobody cares. In 2022, a lot of fans just want to see bangers. They want to see two dudes do a lot of cool moves. Right? I'm so excited. I'm already seeing it. I'm so excited to see Ali and Ricochet next week. Excited? Have you not seen it 27 times in the past? No, but this will be under H. There's going to be extra minutes given to them. Well, fuck. Why didn't you say that? Now we can get a couple extra suicide dives. Maybe they'll do a moonsault from the top of the turnbuckle onto the outside into the aisleway. What? This is going to be sick, man. Why didn't you say there was going to be extra minutes given to him? Well, now BC can tune in. Sasha, what are you doing? What are you doing next Friday night? You got to go tune into Ali and Ricochet because people are saying, gonna be a banger. And then you wonder why pro wrestling is on life support. You wonder why the ratings are in the shitter. It's because we lost the core values of what pro wrestling was founded upon. The leveled equation that we all started on, the pinpointed starting line, was the core of where pro wrestling is based upon. And that is larger than life storylines, larger than life characters. Out of the box, yeah. Wrestling's a crazy, wacky world. We love it. Now in 2022, it's just about this dude who does cool moves versus that dude that does cool moves, and that's all I need. We're going to chant during the match. We're going to go online and call it a banger afterwards, and we're going to forget about it 16 minutes later and hope that we can rinse and repeat the process. Cut and paste the same exact fucking shit. A World Cup tournament to decide Gunther's number one challenger. Next week, Ali, Ricochet. Last night, oh, wait till you hear this. You had fucking Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. Two dudes I actually respect. I actually don't mind these dudes. Braun Strowman collects a lot of heat. He pushes a lot of buttons in the community, and the community cries every time Braun says something. But Braun Strowman and Jinder Mahal in 2022 under Triple H. If you would have told me that that was on the scorecard, I would have never believed you. Triple H is putting out a Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal match. If this was Vince, you'd be trashing it. It was Triple H, though, so no harm, no foul. You're seeing people not even talk about it. We'll just glaze over this. That's your tournament to find out Gunther's number one contender? And then we get fucking what should have been a really good match if given a good story. And I would see this on a pay-per-view if you gave them a good storyline. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. Instead, no fucking storyline. It's just to fill a need of a bullshit tournament, a World Cup tournament. So we throw out Shinsuke versus Escobar so that if you ever do give them a storyline in the future, we're going to remember this match. Oh no, we're not supposed to remember it. Like Shotzi versus Ronda from just 5 months ago. According to Shotzi, Ronda has never been in the ring with somebody like Shotzi. You're right. She's been in the ring with you. But we're supposed to forget. Why would you just parade out there what could have been a really good match? And by the way, they got less than 10 minutes last night. So you can't even say that was a fucking good match. The World Cup is already off to a world shitfest. But we're going to act like this is amazing, right? The women's fucking six-pack challenge to determine Ronda's number one contender. It was a shitfest because you gave 6 ladies just over 10 minutes maybe with 2 commercial breaks. Of course they have to rush through the entire match. You can't sell properly, no in-ring psychology. You constantly got to be waiting for somebody to set their spot up, and then you got to get all your spots in. And before you know it, they were so rushed that there was a botch on the outside. Liv Morgan and Raquel just could not connect on a table spot. This threw everybody off pace, and the finish was awkward as shit, and the crowd didn't know what was happening. The commentators didn't know what was happening, and the bell rang. And Shotzi all of a sudden wins, and we're going to see a rematch that we saw on free TV on SmackDown 5 months ago. Now you're going to pay to see this at War Games. And much respect to all these ladies, by the way. Especially Shotzi. But if you can't get better booking for people like Xia Li, then Triple H has to be to blame. This is not change that takes a long time. You literally look at your roster, you see somebody like Xia, and you give her a jobber entrance last night, so she's going to lose anyway. And then Xia doesn't even get an entrance last night, guys. Xia did not even get an entrance, but we'll talk about it, trust me. So there's all of this, and then by the end of the night, it's being deemed a special moment for Roman Reigns, and all this was her hot shot. You had the Rush, one of the main events for Survivor Series War Games, because it's in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and we didn't even have one of the main events. We didn't even have any opponents, components, nothing. And finally, we're starting to see the Bloodline is going to be taking on Drew, Sheamus, Butch, Holland. Holland is going to be in one of your main events, and maybe Sammy and Kevin will be added next week or something like that. But you're not going to find out the officialized match until probably a week before the event next week. So they're just trying to hot shot this. And to me, man, this is going to make a lot of people cry, but that's what we do here, man. The truth oftentimes makes people fucking cry. To BC, this is a main event maybe for SmackDown just with a cage on it. I mean, Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes and Drew. You put a cage around them, and that's a SmackDown main event at best. But we're going to fucking put the title of War Games on it, and we're all going to act like the excitement is through the fucking cage roof. That's fine. No, BC, I'm actually excited. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to insult you. I'm going to applaud you. If you're excited to see this War Games match, awesome. If you want BC to add on with you to that excitement, it's not going to happen. It's the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes and Drew. Maybe you add Owens and... Okay, you can add fucking Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. It ain't going to make a fucking difference. It's a schmoz with a cage around it. No, I hope they produce. I hope you get your banger. And I hope BC sees a lot of great shit that I can talk positively on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly review. I absolutely hope that it turns out really good. If you're asking BC if I'm excited for this multi-man cage schmoz, I'm not. It just started to formulate last night. The entire match isn't even official yet because they're gonna add 2 more people because they're advertising a 10-man. We've only got 8 so far. So Sammy, Kevin, that's why I'm starting to think maybe it's them 2 or Sammy and somebody else, whatever. But the point is, the match isn't even like fully made yet. It's gonna be made 7 days if we're lucky before the event, or 6 nights. Or no, if it's next Friday, then maybe that would be 8 nights. If they bring back Sammy next week. Okay, so either way, it's a week before. So you want me to be excited about this match that's not even made yet. They're still trying to hotshot it. And it'll be made official a week before. And I've already seen Drew and Roman several fucking times, man. I've seen Sheamus and Roman several times. I'm not supposed to talk about their matches. I'm supposed to forget about it. You know, I'm not just trying to shit on it. I'm just saying when it comes to excitement for Survivor Series, I'm trying to find it. But their IC title number 1 contender is being produced not by a storyline, but by a tournament. Back in the day, tournaments were the storyline. There was so much fun because they didn't happen often. And there was a lot of integral parts to the tournament. Nowadays, we see them so many times. There's no story with a tournament, man. This is just lazy booking, and it helps Triple H and his writing staff not have to think too hard. So we'll just put out a fucking multi-week tournament. That fills a lot of shows, by the way. And then you kill two birds with one stone. You fill up a bunch of shows, and then at the end of it, you fucking also found the number one contender for your champion. It's lazy booking at its fucking worst, or best, if you're Paul Levesque. And for the ladies, six-pack challenge. Boom! Fills up fucking easy peasy, as Oscar would say. Easy peasy. We don't have to think too hard. Let's just throw 6 ladies out there because we only have 2 weeks left. We don't have time to create a feud because we didn't think ahead. We'll throw 6 ladies out. We'll just come up with some fucking finish. It doesn't even matter who. Hey, Shotzi drives a fucking tank. It's War Games. Let's just go with that. And then we'll tell Shotzi to tell everybody that Ronda's never been in the ring with somebody like her, even though we just saw the same match 5 months ago. But we'll act like that never happened. And I'm supposed to be excited because this is how we're coming up with our matches. Through tournaments, 6-pack challenges. I'm sure next week we'll have or on Raw, we'll have a battle royal to determine another champion's challenger. A battle royal. We're still trying to get one of our fucking War Games matches together. Right? The ladies seem on Raw to have their shit together. And for the men, we're still trying to get this formulated with just 14 days to go. And you wonder why BC's not excited for the event just because they labeled it War Games. War Games is coming back. And people cry, man, because I'm not sharing in that enthusiasm. I'm negative. Why do I gotta be such an asshole? Why can't I just love what I'm viewing? Because they have to give me a reason to, man. You think I just want to come on here and shit on it? No, I want to fucking talk about it. Do you ever see the events where I'm on my feet applauding, right? I'm giving a standing ovation. I did it several times, actually, at Crown Jewel. I did a live review, live reaction for Crown Jewel toward the end of the event. The first half of the event was just fucking not good at all. The second half of it, man, I was like, fuck, this is it. I hope this carries over to television Monday night and Friday night. Unfortunately, it didn't. And that's why I'm even more critical this week. Because they had momentum at the end of Crown Jewel. This week, it's right back to the old Vince McMahon / Paul Levesque days. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They're one of the same. Paul Levesque is good at making little changes, like fucking bringing fucking names back or people back. Becoming Papa H, right? He just wants to be Papa H backstage so everybody looks at him like a father. That's not helping the product, dude. And it's going to take more than Sarah Logan, a third Viking. And I'll end the recap. That's right. 45 minutes into this bitch almost. And we're still not even into the full throttle review. I'll end the recap talking about Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. Thing of beauty, man. And a lot of people there was a backstage segment where LA Knight is being LA Knight. So good to see him no longer Max Dupree. And speaking like LA Knight, which is a hybrid. This is by design, by the way. If you ever wondered if he seems like a couple of people, he does. He molded his character between 2 former megastars, The Rock and Steve Austin. So when you listen to an LA Knight promo, you are listening to The Rock and Stone Cold, basically, with an LA Knight flair. Not Ric Flair, his own flair. But so yeah, it's, you know, a lot of people say, I hear a little bit of Rock when he speaks. I hear a little bit of Stone Cold. That's by design. He knows what he's doing, and he's so damn good at it. And because he does it so correctly, he becomes the very first and one and only LA Knight type of figure. So it's not like a total knockoff of a Stone Cold or a Rock, you know? That's where you're like, well, yeah, but don't you feel it's kind of like it's knocking it up? No, the greats in anything will always take little tips and bits from the people that did it before them and did it on a grand stage. You know, you take a little piece of a greatness over here, a little piece of greatness over here. And if you do it correctly, you mold yourself with your personality, your charisma, and your chutzpah, and you form the ultimate character. And that's what we're hoping LA Knight becomes. He's got the fucking potential. And as LA Knight, sky's the fucking limit. So, of course, you know how high I am on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is the motherfucker. I love Bray Wyatt because Bray Wyatt, like MJF, on the mic alone, you put the remote down and you could go 45 minutes and he's going to tell us a fucking story and you're going to be captivated. So, Bray Wyatt face-to-face backstage with LA Knight, man. LA Knight comes, Bray just interrupts and LA Knight's like, what the fuck? I don't want to give the full review until I go over the actual review, man. So all I'll say is people are concerned. Oh, no, neither one of these guys can lose. You're right. Bray definitely not. Bray's going to have to win this. I hope they hold off till Royal Rumble, by the way. You do not need to rush this for Survivor Series. That's something WWE is probably going to do, though. I would wait. This could be a fun story for the next 8 fucking weeks up front. Take us right into January in the Royal Rumble. And that's where LA Knight will unfortunately have to lose. But there's victory and defeat when you do things correctly. Guys, I honestly believe that if you do this story correctly, LA Knight can actually lose this and save face. This has happened many times. I'll give you a couple examples. Fucking Stone Cold and Bret Hart. WrestleMania many years ago. I don't think that was Survivor Series. Maybe that was WrestleMania 13, right? But I think that was, it's called like the double turn. When Austin passed out in the sharpshooter. But, and then Bret Hart kind of turned heel. Stone Cold from passing out turned face. The double turn, we call it. There's victory and defeat. I mean, Stone Cold lost that match, technically. But Stone Cold got rocketed to the stratosphere, through the stratosphere that night. That's just literally what happens sometimes when you have certain matches where somebody is losing, but it was done so beautifully. And you captivated your audience so much that they need to see you again. They became a fan. They're into you. They like what they see. They want more. LA Knight. There's ways to do this, man. Many ways. I'm already getting creative on how I would do this. My point is, I wouldn't get too... This is going to be like an Austin Theory getting buried in one night thing, or slow. I mean, Theory has been getting buried, and then one night they just decided to fucking put all the dirt on him. But this isn't that, dude. All I'm saying is these two dudes, with Bray's creativity, Bray will be heading the creative train, by the way. And LA Knight will add his fucking 2 cents, and I think they're going to create magic. I would not worry about this at all. I'll go over this a little bit more in the actual review. There you go, guys. That's a bunch of stuff that we had to talk about. A little bit of recap for those that don't have a lot of time today and you wanted just my thoughts on SmackDown. There you go. We had to talk, give a shout out to Corey Graves. We had to welcome back Sasha. I had to address the Shotzi Ronda thing, saying that she's never been in the ring with somebody like me. That's false. She's literally been in the ring with you. So there was a lot of things we had to talk about, guys. A lot of things needed to be discussed. Usos and New Day and the banger. How many times more are we going to see it in the future? It's going to be a billion times, and there's going to be fans that are just going to be okay with it, even though the matches are not getting better and better. They're just staying pretty consistent. But this is just what we rest on. And we have to start being truthful. We have to start coming up with a tag division in tag teams. But you say they started it last night with Viking Raiders. Well, I'm going to need to see consistency. Because to me, this is just another variation. And soon Sarah Logan will just be wrestling in 2 fucking weeks. And she'll start to detach more and more from the Viking Raiders. And the Viking Raiders will be wearing pumpkins next Halloween. In a trick or street fight. I need consistency. I'm going to need more than 3 Vikings running around for a tag division. All right. Now we can get into the review. I promise, man, I'm going to try to make this short. There's not that much to really dissect. This is one of the most simplistic shows you can honestly, I was going to say, write down, type up. If you're Paul Levesque and his crew, this is one of the more simpler shows. That's what I mean. Not a lot of fucking effort went into this. This is why I call it a Vince McMahon show. But I do want to say, guys, you can always, you never have to agree with everything I'm saying. That's fine. Everything I'm saying is coming from the most purest and honest fucking place possible. But you don't have to agree with everything. I ask you guys one major thing. Always hold your standards and your bar higher, right? It's okay to demand more from any of your experiences in life, whether you're ordering a coffee and it just seems subpar for weeks and you're like, my lattes used to taste better, hold them up to a standard. You know, if your burger is if you asked for medium well and it just comes back fucking just cooked like 10 times over, there's nothing medium about it. You know, tell them, guys, this is I didn't order my fucking filet mignon like this. Tell them. If you go to get your car fixed and you just need you're just trying to rotate tires. And you keep coming back with a fucking bill that's 10 times that because they keep switching out your transmission. I didn't ask you to do anything with the I just asked you to rotate the fucking tires. Hold them up to the fucking... If your wrestling show is not doing the best that they can, starting with booking, hold them up to those standards, man. Hold them... Say something. It's okay. You don't just got to sit there and just be like, I love everything, and anyone who doesn't like it or complains, just don't watch. Just enjoy wrestling. We're trying to. Our standards are just higher, and we refuse to lower them. SmackDown, 11/11/22. The Usos versus The New Day, episode 688. 24-minute match. Good, of course, but the crowd didn't give a shit. They were chanting, "We want Sammy," and Sammy Uso, just 5 minutes into this match. This is what happens when you see the same match so many times. Even people that thought they were okay with it, they start to remember, oh yeah, I've seen this so much. They just want Sammy Uso. Sammy Uso. I'm literally calling him Sammy Uso now. That's not good. Usos defeat The New Day via the 1D. It was Jey Uso that defeated Kofi Kingston, if you're keeping score. Jey defeated Kofi. I'm not sure what I can say about this match that I haven't said the previous 687 times before. I really don't know what else I can add. Guys, when I say I saw at least 3 times the same exact sequences that I've seen in previous matches between the two teams, I literally mean I've seen the same sequences. There's nothing more. This is what I mean. I can't say this enough. If you're okay with seeing this match all the time, no matter what headline it is, this is for the longest reign, or maybe it's just a one-time only, or whatever the headline is of why we're getting this match again. If you're okay with it, that's great. For BC, I'm literally seeing my favorite shows. Like if you see the replay, a repeat of the same show 600 times, at some point you're going to finally just turn the chant. You're like, all right, I love the show. I love this episode, but I've seen it so much. Let me just see what else is on. I mean, BC has been at that point for this match 10 times, for the last 10 matches. I'm literally just like, I don't even need to see this anymore. I'm seeing the same moves now. I don't know, man. I just, if I never see the Usos versus the New Day again, and I love both teams, I love the Usos, they're one of my favorite teams, and I have respect for the New Day. If I never see them in the ring again, I am more than okay with it. Usos become the longest reigning tag champs in WWE history. Again, this was just a one-off. Just for a cute little, hey, what if we put the last longest reigning champs in with the new reigning champs? No story, no reason. That's just the story. And see if they can get the titles, right? And everybody had fun with it to start the show. Okay. Again, I would be more okay with this if I honestly believed that was the last time we're going to see them. But it's not. They'll be right back in the ring together in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, because there's no division. And this is what Triple H, just like Vince McMahon, this is what they will always fall back on because they know it's tried and true. And they know so many people will just say, okay, I'm okay with this match. Let's do it. They always produce bangers. There's not another ounce, not another minute that I have to spend on this matchup. Congrats to one of my favorite teams, though, the Usos. Love you guys. I want to make sure that I'm doing my part in trying to voice my displeasure that there's a lack of an actual tag division in WWE. There's teams that could have and should have been something like Alpha Academy, like the Vikings. But until you put all the parts together, they're just fucking separate Lego pieces. You got to build something now, man. Otherwise, you're just going to be stepping on Lego pieces trying to get to the fucking bathroom, middle of the night, trying to get back to the bedroom, and you're stepping on Lego. Build something. Put it into the fucking corner and start to contemplate. As you look at that fucking huge Lego piece in the corner that you just built, now you start to get creative, right? It starts with a process. The first step in that process is putting the Legos together and building something. So I really hope that the Usos get a real tag division going forward. Because, I mean, this title reign, while I'm so proud of them, Many people will say it's going to be forgettable because they can't really remember 5 matches that they need to go back and watch. That don't have to do with probably The New Day. Street Profits 18 times already. I brought this up earlier, and then I'll move on. But the reason you didn't get Heart Foundation and Rockers so many times, or Demolition and Legion of Doom, matches like that, is not just because Vince just didn't want to pair them together. There were so many storylines and so many awesome tag teams and ways you could go creatively with faces versus heels and all of that, that it didn't, the timing was just not right. I mean, there's so many other epic ways you had to go. Nowadays, I mean, you're just seeing the same match over and over and over because they don't have anything else. I can say the same thing 18 different ways, and there's still people that are not going to understand. They just want to fucking see people in the ring doing moves and call it a banger, and then they look at BC and go, man, you're just not entertained by anything, man. Next up, the first round matchup in the WWE World Cup between Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. Couple of notes before the match itself. Number 1, Zelina Vega is fucking smoking hot. Hot. I'm talking with like 8 O's. She's hot. Smoking hot. Zelina Vega. So good to see her fucking back. Number 2, Michael Cole actually mentioned the New Year's mega match in Japan between Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Great Muta. I thought that was pretty cool. WWE getting tempted by that forbidden fruit. Right? It's like the forbidden door is looking mighty tempting right now. But they actually mentioned the Muta. Probably want to get him up on the Hall of Fame coming up soon. They're starting to run out of people. They haven't made legit superstars in the last 10 years. So soon that Hall of Fame is going to start needing people with epic name recognition and value attached to them. And there was a Veterans Day video package. Roman tells the Usos he has to deal with something in the ring later on, and he wants them by his side. They were calling it a Roman Reigns special moment. Ooh, sounds intriguing. So we got to wait around till the second hour to see his special moment. And then hour number 1 ends with a badass backstage face-to-face between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. I love this. The way that LA Knight was being LA Knight, and you know, it's a little bit of Rock, little bit of Stone Cold, a whole lot of LA Knight. And all of a sudden, Bray's fucking logo pops up on the TV behind him. Interviewers like, what the fuck? I forgot who was interviewing him, but fucking LA Knight's like, what are you looking at? LA Knight is speaking here. Yeah, huh? What? And she's like, I don't know. Things are happening. And all of a sudden, LA Knight turns around and Bray's right there in his face. And Bray just cut a really good promo. He's like, you know, I used to... man, I want to get an actual... just one. The whole fucking face-to-face was awesome with him. But I just want to give you guys one... quote especially. I mean, this sums up like where he's going, the Bray Wyatt character. Like this quote alone, what he says face to face with LA Knight. And LA Knight was playing it beautifully, but by the way, LA Knight just facial expressions, the mannerisms, playing it like he's not afraid of anyone, but he just doesn't know how to take Bray. Like that was the look in his face. That's the best way to sum it up. LA Knight was brilliant while Bray was cutting this promo on him. LA Knight was kind of like, dude, I've never been in the ring or the presence with somebody like you. But he was standing his ground, chest out, fucking delts banging out, bulging out, and he's like, dude, I'm not afraid of you, but like, you know, I don't understand, like, I'm a little taken back, you know, like that's how he was looking at Bray. I thought he sold Bray's promo so beautifully. I got to give LA Knight just as much credit here for Bray's promo. But I want to give you just a little bit of what he says. And this is a quote by Bray to LA Knight. My whole life, people have been telling me my rage was going to make a monster out of me. For the longest time, I've been pretending that I am not proud of the things I do. I don't know how true that is anymore. I am asking you, how far are you willing to go? How awesome is that, man? And LA Knight was like, I'm willing to go as far as it takes. And I can tell you where to go right now. And he goes, go play with your fucking puppet somewhere and fucking put him up your fucking ass or so. I don't know what the fuck LA Knight said. I don't have the exact quote, but his response was, I'm willing to go as far as it takes, and I know where you can go. You can go play with your puppet somewhere and put him up your fucking ass, basically, is what LA Knight said. Bray did not like that, and Bray goes just laughs a little bit like a grin, like you have no fucking idea who you're pissing off, and he just headbutts LA Knight side of his mug. LA Knight drops. And Bray doesn't run away like no bitch. No, Bray just like looks down on him. He's like, dude, I could fucking rattle. I could snap your fucking neck right now, dude. He sticks around for a second. And he just looks down on him. And then he just walks off. LA Knight finally gets up. He's like, where'd he go? Bray's probably only 2 feet away. Let me at him. I thought this was great. And again, I'm going to say what I said in the long cold open because there was a lot of things to say. I love this. Do I wish it was a little bit later on? Maybe. But I think something huge for Bray had to happen as well. So at one point, you're going to have to come up with something big. This is it. We're doing it from the jump. I'm actually not going to rag on H on this or anybody. I like this because if done correctly, if they don't rush it, if they give it the proper love and care, that's right, love and care, because that's what this situation and story is going to need, then even in defeat, LA Knight is going to look like a megastar and be catapulted through the stratosphere. I honestly think the best things are to come in this defeat. And it has to happen. There's no way Bray Wyatt can lose this. But anybody who's wondering, oh no, this is one of the things that BC always talks about, 2 dudes in the same ring or 2 females, whichever the situation is, that cannot lose. This is what BC always says, and this is wrong. You're right. I do always say that because it's wrong. Because I know neither one can lose and they're not going to do it properly. This is a situation where LA Knight absolutely can lose to Bray motherfucking Wyatt or Uncle Howdy or Auntie fucking Jolly or whoever the fuck else Bray Wyatt comes out with. Absolutely, LA Knight can realistically lose and save face and come out better than he was going in. Victory in defeat. This is one of those things where I'm going to say one of those lines I can't stand that fans always say, let it play out. This is one of those times where BC is literally going to let this play out. LA Knight did beautiful last night in that little backstage segment, and Bray Wyatt did awesome in that backstage little segment. As minor as it was, just 2 minutes, the best part of the show for BC easily. We go into hour number 2. Starting off with the women's 6-pack challenge to decide the number 1 contender for Ronda Rousey Smackdown Championship. All of the heels get jobber entrances. Xia Li, Sonya Deville, Lacey Evans. Way to build them up, Triple H. Awesome. Make them more irrelevant than you've already made them. Or Vince made them, and then you just fucking keep on throwing dirt on top of them. The faces, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shotzi, they all get entrances. Middle of this match, Wade Barrett calls Shotzi a weirdo. Cole says, who are you to call her a weirdo? Barrett says, nothing weird about me. I'm straight as they come. What the fuck? What does being straight have to do with Shotzi being a weirdo? I don't know where Wade Barrett was going with that. He calls Shotzi a weirdo. Cole says, who are you to call her a weirdo? Or you're someone to call her a weirdo, basically saying that you're kind of weird too. And then Wade Barrett goes, nothing weird about me. I'm straight as they come. And then if you keep watching, a move was done in the ring, and in the background, you could see the commentary booth. They press the mute button. There's a mute button on commentary, so they can cough or hiccup, sneeze, and it won't go on air. They have a mute button. Michael Cole, anybody on commentary. So they press the mute button, and after this was said, you see Wade Barrett and Michael Cole laughing hysterically. Hilarious shit, man. Wade Barrett wants everyone to know he's straight as they come. Too funny, man. And I don't know what that's alluding to for Shotzi. I love Shotzi, though, man. That was just a weird that was a weird call by Wade Barrett. Funny shit, though, man. But very odd. Only time the crowd gave a shit in this match is when Raquel took out a table because wrestling fans are just obsessed with tables. I don't know what it is. It's a thin piece of wood and somebody just gets powerbombed through it and everyone fucking ejaculates. It's fucking nuts. They literally bust a load every time a table breaks. I don't know what the fascination is with wrestling fans and tables. But they love it. So Raquel takes out a table, and finally they get a pop from the crowd. Now, Liv Morgan ended up botching a jump from the barricade, so no one went through the table. The disappointment in the crowd, guys. I shit you not. Sip of coffee here. I shit you not, the disappointment in this crowd was hysterical. You would have thought they were told that they had to go back into lockdown for another 2 years. I mean, that's how disappointed they were that the table didn't break. Now, I don't know the exact botch. I went back and watched it 5 times, just the clip. Some people are saying it was Raquel's botch because the table wasn't where it should be, or she miscalculated where Liv was going to jump up. But I think what was happening, guys, is it was going to be Raquel was on steel steps. There was a table behind her. They were right by the commentary table. Raquel's on the steel steps about to powerbomb somebody. I forgot who she had in a powerbomb position. Liv Morgan is supposed to jump off of the barricade, basically over the commentary table almost, and tornado DDT Raquel into the table. So I don't see how Raquel was actually off there. That looks to be because Liv Morgan did make it to Raquel. I think Raquel thought she was strong enough to carry Morgan no matter what, and that's not what happened. Morgan went a little bit too to the left. Raquel did not have the strength to lift her back up, and the tornado DDT never happened. Instead, Raquel just kind of fell backwards. Morgan almost went throat first into the table, and it was a botch. So there's nobody really to blame here. I think they got ambitious. They tried. They went for the home run, and they struck out. It happens sometimes. The sad part is that when you have 6 ladies in there for roughly 10 minutes, I think the actual match time was almost 12, but it's 6 ladies, and you're trying to do all your moves and let everyone else get in their spots, it becomes a train wreck quickly. You have to add in 2 commercial breaks, by the way. It's a train wreck that fans can't really get invested into. So when you botch your finish, it becomes even worse. And what happened is what we got. Shotzi out of nowhere wins this. I love Shotzi. Good for her. It's so criminal what they're doing with Xia Li. I don't understand, actually, Xia Li's booking. And even if you know that she's going to lose again, why would you not, and I mean this wholeheartedly, why not just give her an entrance? Like, what would be the problem with just having her some fucking, how about some music? Let people know that she's an actual, she's a talent. She's a talent, right? Like, she's not just a jobber from the local bingo hall, is what I'm saying. Right, let me break it down a little better there. She's not just like a talent that they picked out that's about to take on Braun Strowman and get squashed. No, she's a real talent, man. I like, you just look up the... No, I can't get 4. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so look at her last, and what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... 15, 16, her last 17 matches she has lost in a row. Dating back to June 3rd, guys. June 3rd, Friday Night Smackdown, she lost to Natalya. The next week, she lost to Lacey Evans on SmackDown. She went on a little bit of a live tour. Saturday Night Stunner, Sunday Night Stunner, lost to Evans and Raquel. She went to Monday Night Raw, she lost to Becky Lynch, June 27th. She lost to Shayna Baszler on August 5th. SmackDown. SmackDown on August 12th. A week later, she lost to Aaliyah, and Raquel in a tag match. Then Natty and Sonya 2 weeks later on SmackDown. Then Ronda Rousey on September 9th. So they already fed her to Ronda anyway. Even if you gave it to Xia last night, it wouldn't have mattered. Then she lost to Aaliyah several more times. Touring around the U.S. Just lost to Aaliyah a bunch of times. Then Ronda and Shayna a bunch of times more in tag matches. Raquel's been beating her around the circuit and on SmackDown. And then Shotzi just beat her last night in the 6th. Xia Li, last 17 matches since the beginning of June. You'd have to go back to March. The last time Xia Li won a match was in March against Shotzi, by the way. And that was on Dark. It was a dark match, not dark. Dark is AEW. It was just a dark match, so that wasn't even televised. March is the last time Xia Li won a WWE match. Wow. I didn't know it was that bad. I can't get all 4 now. I need that. It's too bright. Much better. Thank you. I didn't know it was that bad. Wow. She hasn't won. This is Xia Li. She's fucking amazing. Now, if you're a fan that just goes, I don't see it. Nah, no harm, no foul, BC. She doesn't do anything for me. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't mean she's not epic. It doesn't mean that she's not better than March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. No, it doesn't mean that she's not good enough to win one match in 9 months, guys. She has not won a match in 9 months. 9 months. And then you wonder why BC gets in these modes where I feel like I'm the only one telling this type of truth on this platform. And people get upset and they cry and they go, oh, it's just a show, man. Yeah, these are careers on the line, man. If Xia Li gets released tomorrow, she's so irrelevant that affects her next contract. Or if a company even hires her, it affects you. You're independent you're not employees. You're independent contractors. This company can release you at any time, and then you have to hope that somebody signs you, that you get a job. How you're booked means everything. I said this in yesterday's video. That's why the Stone Colds and the Brocks and even the Triple H's and the John Cena's, everybody, they refused to take many L's back in the day. You know why? Or at least when they did pick an L, they had to strategically play it out with McMahon on how this works with them afterwards because they knew it affects them. Today, people just show up, collect a paycheck, and they have to eat with the bullshit stew that they're told they have to eat. And that's why everyone's 50-50 booking, and if you're like Xia Li, it's even worse. Anyway, guys, that was a little side rant. Shotzi wins this thing. Shotzi backstage tells Shayna Baszler that Ronda Rousey has never seen anybody, or has never been in the ring, was her exact words, has never been in the ring with somebody like me. That is more false than she's claiming. Not only has Ronda been in there with somebody like her, Ronda has actually been in the ring with Shotzi June 10th, 2022, and Shotzi tapped the fuck out to the armbar in just a few minutes. We've seen the match on free TV, SmackDown. Now you have to fucking pay for it on Survivor Series, and then you wonder why BC's not excited for these matches. Why are you surprised I'm not excited? I hope they get me to that level. And Shayna Baszler then chokes out Shotzi because Ronda was behind Shotzi. Ronda a little bit of a distraction. Shayna just chokes out Shotzi. I did like that part of it though, man. Ronda was a nice little surprise there. You know, Bray Wyatt, Ronda Rousey, not used for the live crowd for the live SmackDown, just in backstage segments. I'm pretty sure H knew that the card itself screamed Vince McMahon. Tournament, six-pack challenge, Usos New Day again. You know, I think H knew that. He needed to pump up those backstage segments. At least, for the most part, it came through. I wonder if Shotzi just forgot she was in the ring with Ronda, too. Maybe that was just a Shotzi call to say that. I don't know. It sounds like something WWE would have her say, to be honest. Either way. Moving on. World Cup first round match. Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. 3-minute match. Monster Bomb gives Braun the W. Do I need to keep going on this, guys? And I like Jinder Mahal. I'm actually a fan of Jinder. I know that makes people befuddled. Like, what? You like Jinder? Yeah. I don't say it often because I totally understand that Jinder Mahal right now is not best for business. They don't know what they're doing with him and they don't know how to utilize him properly. BC has 10 different creative ways. Literally, that I could actually make Jinder Mahal more relevant than he's ever been. But this company is clueless. So everyone else is just like, Jinder Mahal, no thank you, I'll pass. Braun Strowman gets all the heat in the world. He pushes fans' buttons and he even pisses off wrestlers today. The flippity-dippity divers, he calls them. So Braun's pissing everybody off, but I actually like Braun Strowman. I do. I think he had all the momentum in the world 3 different times, and Vince McMahon totally fucking just swiped his legs from underneath him and cut his pushes all 3 times. And some people say it was because of his attitude. I don't know, but I like Braun, and obviously I like Jinder, but to see this match in 2022 under Triple H's tutelage, under his guidance, under his fucking thumb, I mean, if this was under Vince, people would be like, oh, Braun and Jinder, what the fuck? But because it's H, it's like, it's okay. It's a World Cup match. Told you the tournament's going to be fun. Was it? Is it fun? How fun is it? This match was 3 minutes. Maybe that's for the best. I don't know. And again, much respect to both individuals, but Just throwing them on a primetime television show 2 weeks before Survivor Series for a World Cup fucking match, befuddling to me. And I don't know. I mean, obviously this is going to lead into probably like an Ali versus Braun match because they had some online beef. Braun called out the flippity-dippity divers. Ali kind of responded to him. They had a back and forth, and then it just kind of shut up. Everyone stopped. It's almost like H called them both up and said, hey, let's just make this a match. This will get the marks. The marks will be all excited for it, right? It's probably what it's going to lead to or something like that. I don't know. And then what? Does Ali go for Gunther's title? It'd be another body for Gunther to fucking just rattle through like Rey Mysterio. So I guess I wouldn't mind that too much. I don't know, man. I don't know what you want me to say. You can't have Escobar versus Gunther. It's two fucking heels that you're really trying to build up. That's not going to do anything for any of them. That's a situation where it's two dudes that cannot afford a loss. Unlike LA Knight and Bray, which I can have easily come up with a way for LA Knight to lose. I don't know, man. This is what I mean, man. If you just started a fun feud and you just built it for weeks and weeks, and then by the time we get to Survivor Series, we get the feud, the title is almost a bonus at that point. You need to see the Gunther feud. That's what pay-per-views used to give us back in the day. The title on the line was just a cherry on top. It was more prestigious. And nowadays, this is how we're getting to number one contenders. And it's been that way for 10 years. And under Triple H, it's the same fucking thing as Vince McMahon. Zelina Vega versus B-Fab is up next. It was interrupted by Sarah Logan returning to World Wrestling Entertainment. The Viking Raiders then hit the ring, and then it just becomes an annihilation of Hit Row, which follows. And Hit Row just gets destroyed. Sarah Logan's taking out fucking Beef. They're just beating the shit out of... Who are they beating the shit out of? Everybody, right? Yeah, I think it was everybody. I don't even know. I was looking at Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan was looking pretty fucking sexy in her little fucking Viking outfit, to be honest with you. I gotta be honest, man. She's a little thicky girl, too. I was loving me a little Sarah Logan in that outfit, bro. Okay, I got you. I'm seeing a little bit of fucking, that's a different level of sexy over there. Sarah? I got you, Sarah. No, she was looking, she was, Other than that, it's a third Viking. I don't really know what to say, man. I mean, Sarah Logan is back in the women's division. How much does that help the women's division? I don't know. I mean, did she get extremely better at wrestling? We'll see. I hope. I'm willing to give this a chance. Again, she's sexy as fuck. I mean, damn. you toot out there in that fucking outfit. You got BC's attention. If she can wrestle, if she can actually have... Hey, I loved what I saw with the physicality, man. That headbutt that she delivered, I think it was to B-Fab. That was fucking badass. I'm like, all right, you bring the physicality. You become realistic and believable. Everything else follows. I always tell you guys, confidence is first and foremost. When you start to hesitate and you start to doubt and question yourself... the match is going to come out like a train wreck. Because then everybody else's timing is also going to be off because you're going to throw them off. Sarah went in there last night and just looked fucking badass, confident, just willing to whoop some ass. That's what I love. Viking Raiders looked great, but this is another variation. I've seen so many different variations of Viking Raiders. I mean, when they first came, they weren't even the Viking. They were, first of all, there was two different names on NXT, right? You went from War Machine to War Raiders. Then they came in as the Viking Experience to the main roster. Then they turned into the Viking Raiders. I mean, they've had 4 fucking names since they've been in WWE, and they've had 5 different reinventions of themselves. And the last 3, they still remain Vikings. So no, I want consistency before I totally go, this is great. Everybody is praising it and not thinking about what WWE has done with the tag division and the Viking Raiders, and that's drop the ball every single time. But basically, this is Triple H. Exactly. H has not shown me that he can fucking carry the ball into the end zone properly, consistently. I'm hoping that changes. He did it for a few years in NXT Black and Gold, and then he wore himself out, and then Tony Khan kicked his ass, and then Vince and USA Network said, dude, you gotta go. Your ratings are tanking, you're not making us a fucking dime, and you're getting your ass kicked by the competition, Tony Khan. And Triple H is like, but I was beating them I was doing good for years. Well, that was fucking a few years. You caught lightning in a bottle, dude. Now you ain't so good. So I'm hoping the best for Sarah Logan. I mean, she looks great with the Viking Raiders, guys. Manager-wise, I don't give a fuck if she ever wrestles. If she's just a manager, because I've been saying this for a long time, we need managers back in pro wrestling. If she comes back as just a manager, This is fucking glorious. I love this. And she looks great with them. Of course, she's married to fucking, who is it? Is it Ibar? Or is it Eric? Eric. Well, she's married to one of them. I'll do my due diligence later and make sure I know who. Because if she marries the other one and the other one gets, oh man, that could be a weird Viking thing going on there, man. I don't even want to go there. Anyway, Sarah Logan is back. Show ends with Roman Reigns' special moment. Immediately, it's interrupted by the Brawling Brutes. The second I see Holland, I'm thinking, like, where are they going with this? This is going to be, hey, man, maybe they end the show really big. Maybe H does have something huge planned. No, it's Holland and Butch. We're sick of the numbers, and we're be brought back up. And here comes Sheamus. We love Sheamus. I get it. But Sheamus has only been gone for a few weeks. I would have held him out to the fucking Royal Rumble. But he will be fun inside of a cell. Another level of physicality and brutality, so I'll take Sheamus. But, I mean, to end the show and you hyped it up to be this special moment, and here's the Brawling Brutes. And then Drew McIntyre comes out, who we love, but his booking's been so odd. You can't really look at him like a top superstar that's larger than life, and that's a shame, because I felt there was times where we could have, and the booking just failed him. So Drew comes out, and they all just start brawling, and we end the show. We just go off the air. And they're starting to finally, I think H was like, wow, we're only 2 weeks away from Survivor Series War Games? I got to get a match. So he just ushered these 8 guys out there. They tried to get fucking, they must have signed Roman for an extra date. He's going to work Survivor Series. And, no, sorry, yeah. Yeah, put it, thank you. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so they're going to promote them out there. It's being promoted as a 10-man tag, so you probably, with 1 week left to go before the event, you're going to get 2 more names, and they're going to try to finalize this at the last minute. So, that's it, man. I'm sure there's people, I didn't even try to gauge the audience after this show, because I know there's people going to go, what a great Smackdown! Raise your standards. That was not great. Even if you disagree or, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. Like, BC, if somebody thought it was great, then they thought it was great. What's the problem? Nothing for them. That's awesome. I'll give you a round of applause. If you honestly were entertained through the fucking roof from that show and you thought it was a great show, good for you. I don't know how this channel is going to benefit you. Because our standards on this channel are so much higher, man. We look at the word great and we hold people, shows, segments, anything, any entity in the world, we hold them to that standard, right? Great. This channel, it's just, our standards are just too high, man. When we say something is great, we mean it was great. When we say something's awesome or epic, we mean it was awesome and epic. We're not just using words just as fucking just as adjectives over here, you know, just to fill in fucking to make it sound better than, you know. What a great SmackDown! What the hell ever happens if we truly get a great show? Are these people gonna pass out? These fans? They're gonna start just fall on the ground, start fucking twitching. The mom's gonna come and Charlie, what happened? Did you get stung by something? No, Raw was actually great. On paper, this was a Vince McMahon show. When it was all said and done, I don't know what you guys want me to say, man. Bray Wyatt thing with LA Knight sparks my interest. Sarah Logan's back. I'll see where it goes. What else? Special moment with Roman. That was just to set up a fucking match that still is not set up yet. We're still waiting a few participants for War Games with 2 weeks left. 6-pack challenge for the women just to come up with Ronda's number 1 contender, which is in 2 weeks. A tournament to decide Gunther's number 1 contender, which is in 2 weeks. Usos New Day for the 688th time. No, it was not great. BC amplified. I gotta be honest. What the fuck? I don't care if they tag it. You gotta cry. I gotta unsub, basically. I gotta unsub. It's so negative. Well, do what you gotta do. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I can't help you. This channel is based on truth. This is not a great show. And so far, Triple H is just losing grasp. And we've seen him do this in NXT. He lost NXT. He started to panic. He started to fumble the ball a lot. And he started to make it a train wreck. I hope it's not already starting in World Wrestling Entertainment. DC Amplified, Top Guy. Until next time, you know the deal. We out. And we got to have Sasha do one main thing, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Sasha, hit that motherfucking music.